And here we are on the Rafferty Mills Connection with my next guest. And what an impressive resume. She's currently hosting webisodes called Know Your Rights, is an avid golfer where you can see her competing on the celebrity circuit, and actually began her career as a defense attorney. However, my guest is most well known for winning season 6 of the hit television series The Apprentice in America. She survived Donald Trump, and that is an accomplishment. Allow me to introduce our first female guest to the Rafferty Mills Connection, Stefanie Schaeffer. Stefanie, welcome.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, I guess my first question is, I heard that you recorded a pilot called The Hidden Jewels of Golf. Now, I know some of the stuff earlier you've done in your career, you know, you were a defense attorney beforehand and then The Apprentice. I guess, how did this whole thing come about?
You know, I grew up in Palm Springs, and I really love golf. I was a tennis player in high school, and my dad never really let me focus on golf. He thought it would mess up my swing. And as a Trump employee, you know, I think it gave me the opportunity to sort of pick up the sport. It's obviously good for business reasons, but I didn't realize I'd become so passionate about it on a personal level. And it's turned out to be a way for me to do a lot of philanthropic work throughout the United States and actually even beyond. And so I've used that now as a way to just sort of get out there and help different organizations raise money to help fight cancer and for organizations that help children. So that's what I've been doing.
So, I mean, what's the status of it so far? I mean, have any networks looked at it and any interest or?
Well, if you're talking about The Hidden Jewels of Golf, that was a television pilot that we just completed, and we're waiting to see which network is going to pick that up. It's a travel golf show, interesting, amazing places throughout the world that golfers and non-golfers alike can go to and have a great time. And so that show is off and running, and we'll see how that project turns out. As far as the actual game of golf and my involvement with it, you know, Cleveland Golf sends me out to play in different tournaments, and Leisure Clothing up in Canada sends me beautiful clothes to wear. So I basically do the charity celebrity circuit and go around the country and try to, like I said, help raise as much money as possible and raise awareness for a lot of really great causes that are in need of assistance.
Is it easy to do, though? I mean, I know you're working at the moment, you're doing other things. Is it easy to kind of juggle both of them together? You know, you do your golfing commitments and then you got your other commitments together?
Well, I have a lot of different projects going on at once. I have a jewelry business called Steffi J Designs that everything in that line of jewelry is handmade by me. I make every single piece. I know there's been some controversy about that, but yeah, it's all designed and made by me. It's SteffiJDesigns.com, and it's taking up a great deal of my time. I've been traveling around. Fashion Week out in New York was just a few weeks ago, so that kept us busy. And Mr. Trump's son, Eric Trump, had his 3rd annual tournament for St. Jude's Hospital, so I was out in New York doing that. But you know, between the jewelry line and television and golf and so forth, there's a lot to keep busy these days.
Yeah, I guess also, I mean, you've worked on some webisodes you did a series called Know Your Rights, which I think is like a legal videos, and they kind of discuss issues and things like that. I mean, how did that come about? Was that something that you just did, that somebody approached you and said, do you want to do this? I know you're a defense attorney, so that must have come as quite an appealing thing, you know?
I was approached by there were 2 producers, and the creator of the show, Peter O'Meara, approached me to be the host of the show, and obviously based on my legal experience, they wanted me to run with this webisodic series that they loved and are hoping to make into a television show now. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was the gist of that whole series, which is still, you know, partly up on my website at StefanieSchaeffer.com and I think elsewhere on the web. But the gist of it was to give some really basic common sense information on a particular topic that would be useful to people out there so that they wouldn't have to go out and spend the money on an attorney and get some actual answers to some very common questions like, you know, is your airline ticket really non-refundable? Well, no, it isn't that way. You can get your money back, and here's how you do it. And do you have to let a cop search your vehicle if he pulls you over? Well, no, you don't, and here's why. You know, all those different things that you might want to know about, but wouldn't necessarily fork over the money to pay an attorney to find out. So it was kind of like common man, you know, the common man's chance to have a little bit of legal knowledge for free.
Yeah. What got you interested in law?
I'd say my dad. My dad was always studying when I was little, and he's a lawyer. And he just, I think I had an obsession with books from the time I was very young, and most of the time I was playing with law books. And I would watch my dad study, and I'd debate with him and argue with him and talk about, I remember talking about the elements of burglary when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And I think it just stuck. There's just something about the law and the chance to reinvent yourself over and over and over again, because there are so many different topics and so many things that you can do. I love the fact that you don't necessarily have to practice, that you could become a judge, that you could teach, that you could help people, that you could take it completely philanthropic if you wanted to. That there are just so many things you can do with a law degree. And I love the fact that it is a never-ending experience. You just constantly learn. You're constantly evolving.
Did you think you would go as far as you did in terms of being a defense attorney? Because you went on to The Apprentice, but I mean, you were quite successful, I heard.
Well, I don't think I'll ever give up law, Nick. There's a part of you, once you've been through law school and have been brainwashed, and anyone out there who's been through it knows what I'm talking about. You never, I think you're forever changed. But the law is certainly, as with any great education, a wonderful foundation and a great jumping off point for other ventures. It's certainly a way to establish your credibility within other fields. It is a great way to explore possibly other things you want to do. If you're going to explore entrepreneurial efforts, a law degree is a great, be your own lawyer. I know there's an old adage about only having yourself for a fool, having yourself as a client for a fool. But anyway, I won't go there. But I just think that the law is a great jumping off point, and certainly a law degree can't hurt you. And for people out there in college and kids trying to figure out what they want to do, it's definitely a wonderful foundation regardless of what you think you want to do. And you don't have to be a political science major to do it. I mean, I was English and psych.
Are you still practicing?
I am still practicing, yes. I'm active, and I intend to stay active. It's just trying to figure out where to go from here and how to incorporate law into the entertainment business, because believe it or not, there are many projects out there, and certainly many that I've been approached with that have a basis of law within them, be they reality TV or otherwise.
Having come from, you were a defense attorney, and now, with The Apprentice being so successful, you've become a celebrity. Has that been difficult to cope with, or?
No, I think it's probably different for everyone. For me, I'm the same person I ever was, and I have my family and friends and endeavors. And if I could use any bit of, we'll call it notoriety for argument's sake, to try to raise money for different charitable organizations that I work with, then I consider myself blessed.
Now, I guess my next question would be about The Apprentice, which is what you're most well known for. How did they approach you with The Apprentice, and what kind of got you interested in it?
Well, actually, I was a fan of the show, and I remember I was in the office one night. I was watching sub rosa video of someone on a case I was working on one screen, and The Apprentice on the other screen. And the senior partner of my law firm knew that I was a fan of the show and actually gave me the application to try out for the show. It looked like a CIA application. It was this huge stack of paperwork. And he said, there's open casting calls for the next season of The Apprentice, and I really think you should try out here. You'd be great. You could beat all these people. Go give it a shot. And I avoided going to the open casting call in LA, and he found out about it, and he said, you have to go. You just have to try this. He sends me down to San Diego, and I go stand in line with, 5,000 people outside of the NBC building. And these were professional auditioners. I mean, they had chairs and coffee and their suits and bags, and I'm standing there in stilettos with my dictation device and my file, thinking I'm going to be in court by 2 p.m. if I hustle. And wow, was I wrong? But it was the senior partner of my law firm who did it.
Compared to other contestants on The Apprentice, do you think that your work as a defense attorney gave you an advantage in the show?
Oh, no, I don't think it gave me an advantage at all, because they were actually thinking about doing attorneys versus non-attorneys.